Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of It's Rupee Cast featuring Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Red-Rupee here, back with you after about a week-long hiatus. I was a little sick. My voice was pretty much gone for a few days, so I wasn't able to cast or anything. I took a little break. First it was work, then it was a week for holidays, and then I got sick for a week, so hopefully, sometime here soon, I'll be able to get a reasonable schedule here and start getting up casts here again every other day like I intend to. So hopefully that'll be, something reliable. You can come in and catch some new games and new replays and get some more info from that. Anyways, we're starting off here on a slightly different turn here. As you can see, I am one of the players featured right down here in the bottom right corner, and we're looking down the dark, rainy streets of Legis High Stratum. So I had gotten a few requests via email and on my YouTube channel and such like that for me to cast more of my own games, and I've never really done that. I feel like it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's like, I feel it's egotistical or kind of pretentious maybe to like cast my own games and be like, oh well, this is me killing a plague marine with ease, or this is me beating up these Eldar and shooting them down like the space elves that they are. Anyways, I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird, but I figure, if people are requesting it, I'll give it a shot, see how it works. I did like one way back in my practice episodes, but I'd only done the one. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this game. Hopefully it'll be cool. I'll be able to like give you a bit more strategic insight as to what exactly I'm thinking as I was playing through these games. And, other players, I have an idea of what they were doing, but sometimes, I may get it wrong. I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a look around here. Those of you that don't know me, haven't played with me or against me, you wouldn't know that this is my main man right here, Tech Marine. Ever since Dawn of War Vanilla, he's been pretty much my go-to guy. When I first saw him, I was like, oh my god, look at this guy. He's got a giant gun, he's got a cool helmet, and most of all, he's got a giant goddamn crane on his back, and I thought that was pretty awesome. And I'll tell you one thing, if nothing else, I am extremely disappointed of all the other things they haven't put in the game that, I don't really care about. This is the one, why doesn't the Tech Marine have an awesome melee sync kill with his claw? He doesn't get melee kills often, so I feel like when it does, it should be awesome, and that claw should, reach down and go, I don't know. Anyways, this is me, this is Red-Rupee, this is my shiny red and blue paint scheme, and you can see I got a little gold there on the scout, so you can see as well, and my little Dagron right there. So that's me. That'll be what you'll see me play primarily. I'll probably switch it up and do some other stuff, but Tech Marine is my main man. Anyways, on the opposing corner, we've got MKM, our Plague Marine here. And you can see he's got himself a nice squad of angry heretics here. And of course, he's holding on to that nice Wordbearer's Chaos skin. So taking a look at the map, Legis High Stratum, I don't even actually think I've done a replay on this map yet. As a Space Marine, I see this map and it makes me shudder. This is definitely my least favorite map. It is the downfall of my Space Marine. I've probably got the worst record, and that is because it's just all narrow little I mean, look at these narrow, tight little corridors here that go into the center victory point. And that's pretty much the whole map. You see just little stairways. There's no real open space to take advantage of your nice, powerful range damage as Space Marine army. And of course, it's very spread out. Like you see the center VPs here, and then you got one way on either side of the far ends of the map there. But it's just very spread out. Hard to keep map control, especially against a faster army like Eldar or something along those lines. So I definitely do not like playing as Space Marine on this map. Anyways, I've been rambling long enough. Let's get this game on the road and take a look at what starts going on here. We can see MKM is starting off with a double heretic build here to get the game rolling. And as Space Marine, I'm looking at this map, and normally against Chaos, I decide whether or not I want to go double scout or double tack on whether or not it's a Chaos Lord. Normally I'll wait for that, but since this map is so very spread out and wide open, I really need the double scouts to keep map control on this map, so that's probably what I'm going to go for if I remember correctly. So anyways, grabbing some power, grabbing a quick VP. I like to try to grab a VP early in this match just so I can have a little bit, force a little map control at the beginning there. And you can see MKM started to get some chaos attacks, but decided not to and is just sticking with the initial chaos heretics for now. As you can see, my scouts just barely get that cap and get the heck out of there. Miraculously did not lose a model despite the Doom Blast and taking a few swings from the sword there. And meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we have my Tax and Tech Marine scaring off these heretics. MKM pulled back nice and quick, didn't want to lose any of those, knew that that was going to be a losing battle if he tried to engage. So you can see by not getting a third squad, MKM just sticking to the 2 Chaos Heretics, which is curious. He fills up his entire power farm right off the bat, and does also manage to take 2 victory points as well. So that's working out pretty well for him so far, so long as he can keep me off of his power. Meanwhile, I just grabbed the power node and 1 generator for now. Not quite sure what I'm doing. I'm going to grab that second scout because I really need to be able to get out to either end of the map and grab these victory points. However, MKM has pretty much ceded the entire right side of the map to me, so I'm able to decap one of his natural wreck points and push up on the other side. But he's done the same to me. You can see it's pretty much just a kind of diagonal slant right down the middle here for red and blue. And the only turning point is he has that center VP, which is draining me some VPs right quick here. So MKM goes straight into a Havoc Marine squad, which is interesting. No Chaos Tax or no triple ticks, just 2 ticks and a Havoc squad. So we'll see how that works out for him. That's kind of an interesting build. And you can see I'm trying to get my scouts onto the field, grab some of this map back, and keep myself spread out. Finally spotted this Havoc squad, so I decided to pull back. I did pop the power node on this side because I know that I'm behind on power right now. My scouts up in center did see this power farm fully erected already, so I don't want to fall behind and suffer from that blood crusher rush that is pretty much inevitable when you fight Chaos, especially if they get the tech advantage. So you can see MKM's, meanwhile, gotten himself some grenade launchers, and grenade launchers are so good on this map because they can fire over a lot of these gaps. They can fire over the walls onto the power. They can fire off or up to this victory point on either side, so they're just a great unit to have on Legis. They can really take advantage of all these tight corridors and pathways and tunnels. So anyways, he's moving up on this side. Gonna go ahead and break my power. I figure if he's gonna put his forces all on this side of the map, I'm just gonna send the scouts over here. The Havoc's really the only thing that's a threat to me right now, because otherwise my Tax and Tech Marine can deal with the heretics. So Tax grabbing some flamers. I want to flame this power out. I know I'm a bit behind on the power income, but you can see MKM has purchased some Noise Marines as well, so they're gonna come in and disable my ability to fire and force my Tax right out of there. So I managed to get just 1 of those generators, but it works out. That's fine with me. I didn't lose any Tax again, so that works out pretty well. MKM's still trying to take down this power node on this side of the map, and meanwhile I'm taking the other side. I did manage to get a triple cap for a short time here, so I evened out the VPs. But those Noise Marines are moving in onto my power, which is pretty nasty for me. And this is actually coming up my favorite part of the game here, despite the fact that I am going to be losing my generators. Now look at what he's brought in here. Look at what MKM did here. He's got 4 completely different threats for me to deal with. He's got grenade launchers, melee ticks, a Havoc that's now in a building, and Noise Marines. And if you look at what I have on the field, there's just nothing I can do about that. I can't even touch this right now. He's on my power, and I just don't have an answer. So ultimately, I'm going to lose that power farm. There's nothing I can do about that. And I just decide to let it fall. I'm going into Tier 2. Hopefully gonna get a tech advantage. Now MKM did grab himself a second squad of Noise Marines right here, and you can see if he hadn't done that, he could have gone into Tier 2 right now and probably really pushed his tech advantage, especially now that he's taking down my power farm. But that was a curious purchase. I think if he had gone into Tier 2, that would have been a little better. And you can see he now has the Havocs just camped outside of my base, and he's just made a perfect push all the way from back here, moving those Havocs up and around, and just has me pretty much locked in my base. If I didn't have these Scouts and Tech Marine, which are I'm trying desperately to return the Power Bash, but Scouts just aren't going to do it. So at this point, I'm just trying to keep the Noise Marines off of my Scouts, and unfortunately the Tech Marine is going to get surrounded by heretics, and he's going to go ahead and get out of there without much issue. Again, I keep trying to creep my attacks out, and they just keep getting suppressed by these Havocs. You can see how far they actually reach into just outside of my command center. So I have to fall them back again, and I just lose a lot of the map here because of these Havocs just shredding me right outside of my base. So MKM's going to have plenty of time to just go ahead and grab the whole map and take that back for him. He's got all the power. I've literally got no power. I'm just at the base 10 income right now. So at least I was tier 2, so I'm able to get myself a Plasma Devastator, which will help me force off that Chaos Havoc squad, whether it stays out in the open or heads into that building. And I'm just going to try to avoid that for now, and the 2 Noise Marines are coming up on this side. Luckily I have plenty of range squads, so I'm able to melee them and disrupt them a little bit. And you can see my Plasma Dev has come onto the field and now is trying to take some pot shots at heretics and things. 1 Noise Marine does fall, and you can see they were alternating cacophonous sound there, and unfortunately they weren't able to do much damage to my Tactical Marines and Tech Marine. And oh no, my Plasma Devastator is hitting the ground! I know Relics said they fixed that last patch, but I see it still happen all the time with Plasma Devs and Weird Boy. That terrain is just interrupting all the shots. So unfortunately, those would-be dead heretics managed to stay on the field. And I now have a Razorback on the field as well, which should help me deal with the Noise Marines. That's really the one thing he doesn't have a counter to, is any sort of vehicle. So that Razorback is just going to hang out and start peppering away at all these units. The Razorback damage obviously does pretty reasonable DPS. Not great, but it definitely can harass some troops if they don't have an answer to that vehicle. There goes my first Plasma Devastator shot, knocking a Chaos Havoc out of that window, and a couple Heretics falling as well. So MKM probably stayed in a bit long there, lost a couple Noise Marines and some Heretics he didn't have to. Once that Razorback came onto the field, he should have just gotten out of there. He's just now hitting tier 2 and bringing that Blood Crusher, that infamous Blood Crusher, onto the field. So I have a bit of hope here. I did manage to get my power farm back, and I was actually dreading the Blood Crusher right now, but like I said, he got that second squad of Noise Marines, and I think that held him back. If he hadn't gotten them, that Blood Crusher would already be on the field and charging into my base, and I really doubt I would have an answer for it at this point. So you can see MKM had his Heretics tucked back in this little corner guarding that VP, which is a pretty cool idea, because a lot of times, you know, if I wasn't paying attention, I could have just sent those scouts down here to kept this point, and they would have come in and just started slaughtering them, hopefully while I was distracted elsewhere on the field. So anyways, MKM still trying to keep the pressure on with those Noise Marines. I go for the quick decap and then get the heck out of there. Luckily, I haven't lost any attacks in that battle. And my scouts are just the only thing keeping me in the game here. Managed to get the VPs back in my favor. You can see I'm at a pretty severe VP disadvantage. I was down by about 200 points right there because he did own pretty much the whole map right out of the gate. So my Tech Marine just kind of tanking away here. I'm gonna go ahead and get him geared up with a bunch of goodies right now. I've got the orbs because I'm sure that Blood Crusher is coming, and I finally see it as it comes over here to my scouts. I'm trying to get the Plasma Dev into the position, but it's just not going to happen. And meanwhile, MKM has responded to my Razorback with the Singed Mark Havoc Squad, so they are equipped with a las cannon, which of course has the snare. Luckily, my Razorback looks like it just barely gets out of there in time, sitting actually just in range, but I don't think he's got sight on that. And the Noise Marines, oh, just look at the range on those Noise Marines. I do hope they reduce that a little bit next patch. But they do stay in, and after hearing that Plasma Dev wind up, he gets the heck out of there. Luckily, I did target the Havoc Squad and beat them up pretty bad with a direct hit right into the middle of them. Scouts got scared off by some grenade launcher heretics on this side of the map. And the Noise Marines again trying to cause some damage. Oh, and finally the Plasma Dev gets a shot through the terrain, thank goodness. And those Noise Marines got to get out of there, but they're very low. That Razorback going to keep peppering away, and he does fall, so one squad of Noise Marines down. Thank God. I can't stand Noise Marines. They are very frustrating to fight against, and very effective units right now with their range. They can pretty much just walk up to suppression teams and shut them down on the spot. And of course their immense power bash potential, since they do have flamer weapon types essentially. They tend to shred power farms very quickly. So I'm getting the Melt-A-Gun also to try to help deal with this Blood Crusher, and right here he charges right into my trap. quick Orb of the Omnissiah, Melt-A-Gun, and the Plasma Dev is also right there, so I'm pretty confident that that Blood Crusher is dead. The Noise Marines come in again, but I feel like MKM's issue right now is that since he did go Noise Marines and didn't get any Tactical Chaos Marines, that he really just doesn't have any high DPS right now. All his squads are kind of support squads, and he doesn't have anything to really cut through these Tactical Marines. They were taking that Flamer damage from the Noise Marines, but they can just pretty much go in and melee them off if it comes down to it. So you can see MKM's kind of creeping around either side of the map. He's got his Havocs over here still capturing. I didn't chase them off because I wasn't concerned with them right yet, and I'm just trying to keep my VPs from ticking down there a little bit, and I've got my scouts up here trying to fix that Razorback up who narrowly escaped that Blood Crusher charge. And this is just this is my favorite combo to deal with Blood Crushers, by the way, with the Tech Marine. Get that Melt-A-Gun, get that Orb. The Chaos player is likely going to overextend that Blood Crusher, try to charge into a Suppression Gun or something along those lines, and you just drop that Orb and hammer it with the Melt-A-Gun, and that'll pretty much seal the deal, so long as everything goes well. So the Razorback's kind of hanging out and bringing the scouts all over the place. You can see my Plasma Dev couldn't quite see around that corner. I had it a bit too far back. And MKM's also upgraded his Noise Marines with the Blastmaster weapon, which is similar to a Plasma Dev as well. Plague Marine was meleeing that Plasma Devastator, but is not going to be able to stand up to all the scouts in the Razorback, so he has to get out of there. Meanwhile, MKM has brought Blood Crushers onto the field. I'm floating an enormous amount of wreck just because I was so power starved. I probably could have brought a second squad attacks onto the field at this point. I probably should have done that, but I did not for some reason. I had plenty of power income. I'm actually almost getting ready to go into Tier 3, I'm sure, soon here. Oh, and a nasty looking grenade barrage just knocked over all those scouts. And after taking out those Noise Marines and that Blood Crusher, I have hope for this game yet again. I honestly did not think I was going to be winning this game early on. And oh my goodness, a direct hit from the Plasma Devastator right on top of those Havocs, leaving it with a mere 10 HP. If only that Razorback was in range to take a couple shots and finish that off. Unfortunately, it was not. I love this building, especially for Plasma Devs on this map, because it can fire all the way to this center victory point. And it can also keep squads from capturing this power as well, I believe. So it's a pretty nice garrison, if I do say so. He used it against me. It can definitely be used. And oh my goodness, another direct shot right into those heretics. Actually, all that survived was the champion right there. The aspiring champion was all that lived. Unfortunately, they did get the decap, so I don't have the vision out there to see that right now and finish it off. So, oh, I do bring the Razorback up, and he hears the wind-up of that Plasma Dev, so he does retreat. Plasma Devs are pretty much my favorite weapon. You can see I tried to do a little tricky assault down here, fired the orb off, and kept those Bloodletters from retreating, but I forgot. You got to be mindful of this little wall right here. You can't actually fire around that. You need to get around that wall before you can start taking shots. So I forgot about that and wasn't able to do any damage to those Bloodletters before they got in on me. And you can see these grenade launchers doing exactly what I was mentioning earlier. They're able to fire over all those walls and just fire from safety, which is perfect for them because they have great damage output, but are of course very frail being a heretic squad. So MKM decided to go Tier 3 instead of bringing anything else Tier 2 onto the field. And I'm actually catching up to him now. I think he probably should have pushed his Tier 2 advantage a little more. But now we're both hanging out at Tier 3. And the Bloodletter's teleporting in, putting my Razorback in a tight spot between two anti-vehicle squads. And I was a little careless here because, oh no! There goes a whole scout squad. Plasma Devastator just wiped them out. And oh my goodness, my Plasma Devastator doing a bit of friendly fire, knocking my Tactical Marines black into those Bloodletters. And oh my goodness, my attacks go down. My scouts went down. I don't think I quite get this Noise Marine squad, unfortunately, and my Razorback is not quite getting out of there in time. I should have just backed up and gone back this way to get away from that Havoc squad, but unfortunately, I was trying to move forward. I always tend to forget about this little back part of the map here. There's no points back there, so it tends to get forgotten. But I probably had a better shot of getting out that way than the front. So I just lost 3 squads. That was pretty crushing. my Plasma Dev kind of killed my own tac squad over here, and between the Razorback and Scouts on the bottom, I'm in a pretty hairy situation right now. MKM with his early power push, and now that bit of a loss right there for me was pretty rough. The Heretics you saw just shredded through these Scouts. I don't know how I managed to not lose a model right there. But meanwhile, the Plague Champion you can see kind of hanging out by this garrison. He's getting himself his light grenades, probably going to try to scare these Plasma Devs out of the building right now, because they've been kind of single-handedly securing this center victory point for me. And I'm still on the downside for a little bit, but I do bring a Predator on the field, which helps me out immensely, bringing that awesome Space Marine Tier 3 onto the field as soon as I could. I kind of just tried to stall out as long as I can so I could catch up in tech and force the map back into my control. So Bloodletter's now moving in on my attacks, and you can see I've got a call-in moving in here as well. I saved up all that wreck for Tier 3 because I had plenty of red, and now I was just able to bring 2 massive Tier 3 units onto the field as well. And this is, I think, a lot of the reason why people feel frustrated with Space Marine Tier 3 is because it can go from a winning position to a losing position very quickly with Space Marine call-ins. And you can see, just barely by the skin of my teeth, I get that Predator out of there at the last second before my Terminators engage that Havoc squad, and that Predator got out with a mere 6 HP, so all things considered, I was pretty lucky not to lose that. If I lost that Pred, the game probably would have been over. But the Plague Marine's now upgraded to his Plague Fist, of course, which gives him some nice heavy melee to start whacking away at these Terminators. And right now I'm just trying to get this Pred repaired and back on the field. Meanwhile, the Heretics kind of keeping this side safe from the Scouts. And unfortunately, the Plague Marine got hit by a Plasma Devastator, and then some quick volley from the Terminators finished him off. So again, I'm hoping I finally bought that second tac squad, which I probably should have just had in Tier 2. If I was able to buy it in Tier 3, there's no reason not to get it in Tier 2. But Bloodletter's now again moving in on these Terminators, and another missed shot by that Plasma Dev. I'm trying my damnedest to keep them off of the point, but with the Noise Marines, Bloodletters, and the Sinch Havoc there, I need to get those Terminators out of there. And oh no, a Las Cannon shot, and another Noise Marine shot. Oh, and the second Las shot finishes off the building, and I lose my whole Plasma Devastator squad. I wasn't paying attention. Always pay attention to the garrison, even if it seems like the squad inside is safe. Don't forget to keep an eye on the garrison HP, because that Plasma Dev really was paying off for me, so it was unfortunate that I lost that. I brought my Tax and Tech Marine over to the left side, trying to get that Grenade Launcher Heretic squad out of there. And it's looking like I might be able to hold some map now. He doesn't really have much in the way of AV other than that Havoc squad, so if I can just keep aware of that, I should be alright. You can see he's got a nice little holdout here on the right side of the map. That's kind of what MKM's been doing, is just leaving little stuff just out of range of the VPs so that when I go to capture them, he can force me back off. So pretty good strategy on this map because the VPs are so isolated. It's easy to kind of lose track of your capping squads sometimes. I still stand that MKM's problem right now is that he's got these setup squads and Heretics and just no real meat for the field right now. Not really anything to keep field presence outside of those setup squads. So I take back the left side of the map. I probably could have just dropped a turret on this side and used that to hold the point. But you can see I'm saving up once again, trying to bring some more big stuff out onto the field. The Predator scaring off that Plague Marine, though he does manage to get the decap. I'm still about 100 points behind. I haven't really managed to close that gap throughout this game. Kind of moved it up at one point, but then MKM got the advantage back. And again, the Heretics trying to move up on this side of the map. Scouts just kind of hanging back, healing up. They took quite a nasty hit from those Noise Marine Blastmasters early on. But my Terminators did get healed up after taking all that abuse from the Bloodletters and the Las Cannon at the bottom. And really presenting a pretty tough point to hold right here now, that they are both on the field with the tank and the Terminator at center. He's going to need to bring something pretty big to deal with that. I'm bringing a second Predator on the field while MKM builds his first. So everything's pretty much going to come to a head here at this point. I drop a grenade, and you can see MKM with an excellently timed little phase shift right there, preventing the grenade damage to those Bloodlighters. That was really my only chance to deal with that. Now the Predator is on the field to start firing shots into my Terminators. That's pretty much what you want to do when you see Terminators, is get yourself a tank or two and kite them around while you can. I get a little greedy here. Probably shouldn't have teleported this close to his base, but I wanted to get that tank away from there. But it does cause my Terminators a bit of extra damage that they didn't need. Meanwhile, the Bloodlighters are trying to move in on the backside here, but I do have my two Predators back there. He kind of wandered in a bit too close to that. And my Tech Marine's finally going to be able to come up. And you can see the problem with these setup teams is that they're just not going to be able to stick it out against these Terminators unless they stay way back out of the line of fire, especially with those assault cannons now on them. So the Plague Marine goes down once again. I'm trying to flank this Predator, but he sees that coming and tries to get the heck out of there. He did dodge the orb I dropped over there and loses his setup team. Very unfortunate. Probably needed that to snare one of these Predators, and now losing his Heretics as well, leaving those in there a bit too late. I'm trying to decap his power, which unfortunately, you know, at this point is pretty much irrelevant. He's got 400 power, and there's really not much he's going to be able to not buy at this point, even if I do take out his power income right now. And again, teleporting forward with my Terminators. I just really wanted this Bloodlighter kill, and they're just going to be taking a lot of damage though. Oh, and the Predator gets upgraded with the Mark of Cinch. I do get the Bloodlighters, but it's going to cost me some Terminators. I need to get out of there right now. Those Terminators are really what's keeping me in the game. And oh my goodness, he just barely escapes with 93 HP. I need to be very careful. This Predator's probably being a bit too gutsy as well. He needs to back the heck out of there. I did manage to finish off that Chaos Predator, and MKM is now in the situation I was in. He's down to a mere one squad and his hero. But I do have the triple cap. I finally got the map back after a long, hard fight. MKM had me on my toes for most of the game, but once I got Predators and Terminators onto the field, there really wasn't much he had an answer for, unfortunately. It was a really interesting starting build. That's really kind of the main reason I like this game, was because of that opening where, oh no, an Imperial Abyss right on top of my Predator, finishing that off. He was tired of that thing, but unfortunately I still have the map, and there's not much he's going to be able to do against that. But as I was saying, I just really liked that opening that MKM did. He did such an excellent push around this side of the map to take out my power and just locked me. I mean, he had me inside of my base, and I think he really would have had me had he not built that second squad of Noise Marines. That was just a bit too much support. He already had me in my base. There was no reason to try to bring extra squads on the field, I don't think, and lock that down any further. He could have gotten that quick Blood Crusher and probably sealed the deal, all things considered. I wouldn't have had my Tech Marine geared up with his orbs and Melt-A-Gun had he brought in that Blood Crusher in much sooner. But anyways, that's a bit of my play. Hope you enjoyed the game. Gave you a little insight into how I play. Trust me, not all of my games are nearly this successful for me, and all things considered, this one could have gone very catastrophically had it been played slightly differently. So I managed to just barely stall out and get to Tier 3 and bring the big, heavy Space Marine stuff onto the field and turn the game around on MKM. So that's it for this game. Well played by everyone, of course, and I will catch you guys next time.